IME West. If you think you're a design expert, well, let's find out with a little trivia game we like to call Innovation Points. Here is Tsi-Tsi-Ki Felix.
Here we are. Welcome to the News and Brews, and we got something fun going on, guys. Sai, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
My dear correspondents, Drew, my dear Sami, thank you so much. We got a few questions. They're fun. I have no clue. I have the answers though, okay?
All right.
So I'll pretend and I'll project myself like I know. But you guys are the ones that know. So first question. Think about it. Who is credited with inventing the spinning jenny, a key innovation in textile production? I'll give you the potential answers, okay? Think about it. Sai, I see your brain going 1,000 miles per hour. There you go. You're not even. Okay. I'll give you some names. Benjamin Franklin, Taylor Swift, Thomas Edison, or James Hargreaves?
So, my daughter's a Swiftie, so I'm a Swiftie by osmosis, I guess, by transfer. So I know this isn't the answer, but shout out Taylor Swift. You know what I'm saying?
Of course,
For sure.
of course.
For sure. And
yeah.
I bet you if she was around back then, she definitely would have been the person that invented it. For sure.
Absolutely. And she invents very good songs.
Yes,
What do you think, Sami?
absolutely.
What do you think, Sami?
Yeah.
Sai?
Shout out Taylor Swift. I'm going to guess Benjamin Franklin.
Okay.
So the other choices are Thomas Edison and
And James Hargreaves.
I'm going to go with James Hargreaves.
There you go.
Is that the winner?
Awesome. Yes,
Let's
James
go.
Hargreaves.
All right, Sai.
He's the one credited with inventing the spinning jenny, a key innovation in textile production. Excellent. Let's go to the next question. And whoever wants to join in and pitch in some questions or, curiosities, they're more than welcome to join. All right. Next one. Who is the American founder and entrepreneur who is regarded as one of the greatest innovators and visionaries of all time, thanks to their crucial involvement in the computer revolution? Got the names here. Sarah Blakely, Derek Jeter, Steve Jobs, Ellen DeGeneres.
Ooh.
That's a difficult one.
Shout out to Sarah. She made Spanx.
Okay. So, let's see
Drew,
here.
your brain is getting, I can see it from here.
Yeah, well, I mean,
The fumes coming out.
Can you give me the first name again?
First name was Sarah Blakely.
Got to keep it tight, Drew.
Yeah.
Derek Jeter.
I'm going to go with Miss Sarah Blakely.
Okay.
A blue-collar boss lady.
Perfect. Sarah Blakely. Beautiful lady, by the way. Sami?
I love Sarah Blakely's products.
Yes, I know. Yes.
The best.
Yes, they
My
are.
guess is Steve Jobs.
There you go.
That's a good guess.
I think Steve Jobs will be the one credited for most of
Sarah.
the computer. I think so. I think Sarah let you down
tried.
this time, Drew.
Yeah, I know. I'm trying to keep it with the ladies. You know, my theme.
Of
Taylor
course.
Swift. Yeah,
Yes.
you know.
Those shoes will say it all.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that the cameras are going to grab your shoes one of these times. I'll make sure that our camera guy does a close-in for us because
Or I'll
I want to
just-
steal those shoes from you.
I might have
just
to
so you
put
know.
my feet on the desk like
I
old
think-
school times.
Oh,
you
yeah.
know
I
what
think
I'm
you
saying?
should. I
Yeah.
think you should. All right, we got one more question that our producer wrote for us. It's a huge question. We'll see. So, the 1970s, the principles of design thinking started to emerge. What are the true origins of the principles of design? And this is for you guys who are the experts to kind of elaborate. What are the main principles that are more important and that brought us to where we are today? What do you think, Sami?
I think understanding the problem. So understanding what your goal is before you get started, I think is probably one of the main principles.
And creating a map, right?
Yeah.
To see, okay, how do I get there? What are the next steps? And then you design a map. What do you think, Sai?
Yes, that's true. We have to have a map of the requirements and figure out how to go from what we need to make to how to actually make it. And I think one of the you talked about the 1970s, right? And the design principles. I think one of the most interesting things that came out at that time was VLSI, very large scale integration, and at the time, both design and manufacturing were being done by U.S. firms, right? Like in Silicon Valley, and I think at the time, who was it? Lynn Conway and Carver Mead. They came up with this idea of how to separate concerns, like how you can have manufacturing rules be incorporated early on into design thinking, for VLSI design, right? Like, and so they wrote the first major book on that. And that kind of thinking, that separation of concerns, I believe it led to being able to think of design firms almost separate from manufacturing firms in the semiconductor industry. And so all the design innovation started happening in the United States, and the manufacturing innovation started getting outsourced at the time to the East Asia. And that's the origins of how TSMC and some of the big semiconductor companies kind of evolved, right? So it came from a design principle of being able to separate out manufacturing from design through these rules.
Was that a difficult process, you think, Sai?
I mean, it was easier for VLSI CAD because it's 2D and it's modular, right? Like, so they were able to do it, I guess, fairly well at that time. People have been trying to do that for 3D design, for mechanical design and other types of design where it isn't always that easy. So it's always an aspirational goal, I think, for designers to be able to get there. But it's a work in progress.
Absolutely. What do you think, Drew?
So I think that I can't follow that up. But what I will say is, as far as design goes, I really love the fact that we are starting to make a shift into human-centered design, right? And I really think that now we're going to start seeing products that are more, instead of thinking of functionality just to make money, we're looking at things that are going to help solve human problems, right? And give us, longer, more prosperous life for us to be more productive. And I really like that. And then also, quick shout out to the best design software ever, and also my sponsors, Mastercam. If you're looking for any software to design, the top, anything that you're making, Mastercam can do your CAD and your CAM all in the same place. So check them out for design.
What are the most pressing human problems that you just mentioned right now that will be more impacted by what we're talking about, design in this case?
Yeah, so I think right now, I think we have a lot of issues as far as food security. I think home security as well. So we're looking at 3D printed homes. We're looking at 3D printed smart gardens that people that live in food deserts are able to make and sustain their own food at home, fresh food. So I'm looking at those types of things, but then also we're here at this conference where you can see parts that are going inside of people, right? And you can see things that are helping people. Maybe you have a torn ligament and you get a 3D printed ligament replacement, or spines are really big, titanium spine implants. So those things are really important. I think those are some of the issues that we're gonna solve. But then also, I kind of talked about it this morning, but now the life cycle of parts that we're making and widgets and things like that, now we're starting to think, okay, once this is done serving its original purpose, like, we could be coffee cup designers, right? When this coffee cup is done helping people drink or whatever it may be, does it serve another purpose? Or can this break down and be biodegradable so that we don't have landfills and we don't have all of those issues that are also negatively affecting our health? So I'm really excited about the sustainability of products and then what that life cycle looks like once the original use of products are over with.
I like that point. What do you think, Sami?
Yeah, Drew mentioned this a little bit, but I was going to say, home security. So there's so many more advancements now in using tools like AI tools and additive to print homes or design homes and make homes faster, because we can't keep up, as a whole, to house people, right, because it takes so long to build a house. And so there's companies out there now that are, their motto is solve your problems in zeros and ones, so when you get to the job site, you can get your house up faster and it's easier, there's less waste. It's a way more efficient way to help us start solving the housing crisis.
Speaking of that, there is a meme floating around the interwebs right now, and it shows the average amount that people were making every year compared to the average price of homes, right? And I think like in the 70s, people were making like maybe $50,000 and a house was like $13,000 to $25,000. And now it's exponentially way more to buy a house than what people are making. And I think that being able to use sustainable materials, being able to 3D print homes is going to bring the price point for homes down to where people can actually start affording to live again, right? And starting affording to be able to own homes instead of just renting and you know, whatever that may be. So I think housing security is really, really dope, especially with all of these new technologies that are coming.
That's a great point. And definitely with one of the most pressing problems that we're having. How does the manufacturer, the design, the 3D printing will help us all, right? Everyone in this case. So going to the question that we all kind of discussed a little bit, which are the principles of design. Listen to this. The principles, the true origins of the principles of design. Number A. Letter A, not number. That will be number one. Letter A. An individual indulged in psychedelics at Woodstock and thought of the idea. Greek mythology claims there was a god of creativity. Nobel scientist Herbert Simon developed the theory in his book, The Science of the Artificial. And D, while sitting at the Girl Scouts campfire, 12-year-old Sarah Blankenship redesigned the seating arrangement around the fire when asked why. And she responded, it's the principle of design.
Okay.
Which one? Okay, now I gave you potential answers. I see your head is fuming. Sai, look, you're smiling like you know.
Herb Simon's book was pretty amazing and influential.
I think so too. What do you think, Sami?
Yeah, I'm going to go with that.
You nailed it. Drew?
I'm with my
You
boy right here,
concord?
man. Listen, he doesn't get them wrong.
I'm here with my experts. Okay, perfect. And there is another one, which is only the answer. So we're going to discuss it a little bit. The solution-focused problem was observed in the 1980s. In 1982, Nigel Cross continued to make history in the design world when he discussed the nature of how designers solve problems in the seminal paper, Designerly Ways of Knowing. And this was all in 1982. So even though you guys were born in 2000, I'm sure, 2005, 2010, like I was, this was going all the way back then. I mean, isn't this interesting, Sami?
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like that's something that we talk about now all the time is like you have your problem, you need to understand what the problem is and then work towards figuring out how to best solve it. So.
What really gets my attention, Sai, is that people thought about these things long ago and things are becoming finally true. They're becoming material that we're actually seeing them right now. But it was beginning as a thought.
It's interesting because it also, just to reference our previous conversation here, it coincides with the development of early artificial intelligence. Like people like Marvin Minsky and Herb Simon, they were working together, or at least around the same time. And the people who were thinking about design principles often overlapped with the people who were thinking about how to build intelligence into machines. You know, because design is one of the biggest sort of applications of artificial intelligence, and they saw it that way from the very beginning. And so it's very interesting to see how those parallels have been going on. And maybe, you know, there's the explosion of artificial intelligence that we're seeing now will lead to some profound advancements in design.
Absolutely. And it all starts with that. Go ahead.
Isn't it wild to see how far we've come? And they planted that seed so long ago, and the way that it's been watered and nourished and nurtured has beget almost all of the things that we're doing right now. Industry 4.0, that's like the beginning steps of that, right? 5.0, wherever we're going to be going. And so you think about the things that you're doing today, the things that we're doing today inside of this industry, the impact that it'll have 5, 10, 15 years from now,
Yes.
and the people that will be able to pick up those torches and continue to build. I think it's amazing.
And we're going to be seeing a lot of that. Thank you, Drew. Thank you, Sai, Sami. Now